A while ago, I did a playlist about manifestation and basically why people don't manifest. And I am going to keep adding to that playlist because it's so important for people to realize they have so much power over their life and they really need to tap into it the correct way. And that's the key. It's got to be the correct way. You've got to be aligned with your path. And this is what I think that I was explaining in the very first video how I bought the book The Secret after being told about it. And honestly, I tried so many techniques in there to try and manifest things for myself, and it just would not happen. So fast forward now, so this must be like, I must have bought that book about 18 years ago, 16 years ago, I'm not sure. But anyway, I couldn't manifest a packet of crisps really if I tried, because I was just, what it is, I got myself into such a situation where I could not see the wood for the trees because I was completely out of alignment with myself. And really, the reason why I feel so much happier about life now is because I'm completely in line. I'm on my right path for my life, and really I thank Vedic astrology for it because it just has completely changed my life. So one of the things that I just wanted to talk about today is that I come from a family and probably a culture as well where there's a lot of respect for people who are very successful. And in all fairness to myself, I did have a lot of successes. I worked extremely hard and I got myself through sheer hard work and determination and constantly working hard and producing, just working and working. And I got myself to a huge point in my life. And then I had a downfall. And partially it is because I have a planet in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is one of those signs which is a really strange one because Sagittarius is the original ninth house of the zodiac, which is all about like happiness, good karma, and it's the house of luck. And it's not necessarily my ninth house, but nonetheless, it is Sagittarius. And yeah, I have a planet in there, and yeah, and I had heard that planets in Sagittarius, if you're not careful and you don't use them properly, it can cause a downfall. And unbeknown to me, this is way before I knew about these kind of things in astrology, because at the time I just knew astrology as my sun sign. So this is my sun. I was born this month, and this is me. I had no idea about the whole chart, the planets, the conjunctions, aspects, combustion. I didn't know any of those things, let alone Vedic astrology. And when I actually had this downfall, and it was major failure, major failure, and it created huge losses for me. I mean, financially, it massively, literally destroyed me, and I can't tell you. I mean, the losses were huge, and obviously that is just a financial loss. But then obviously it kind of broke me as a person, and I think I was completely, I'm kind of proud person as well, and I wasn't going to be like writing off debts, and I just, because I come from a family that, you honor your debts, you don't just kind of write it off because that money did belong to somebody else. So you can't just think, write it off and it's done. No, you have to pay it off. So it literally took me 12 years to pay off those debts. And so it just means that for 12 years, I had to work harder than I worked even before that, but for absolutely nothing for myself to actually just pay off the debts. And I'm happy to sit here and say I did pay that. It killed me, it broke my back, but I did do it. But what I want to say, it was a very humbling experience. And this is very important because being humble, learning from that is so important, because so many people, in so many cultures, failure is looked upon as such a terrible thing that they just don't want to speak about it. They're so proud, they don't want to admit it. But admitting it and actually showing that humble side of yourself, it just makes people be able to relate to you a lot easier, a lot better, because you then become like a normal person. So people don't have this vision of you as being better than them or anything, because in reality, nobody, no matter what they have achieved, they're not better than anybody else. All of us here, whether you are Queen of England or Lord of whatever manner, we're all humans. We're all working through our karmas, and just by being a nice person and not being judgmental or anything like that, you can just create a better future for yourself. Anyway, so this failure literally humbled me, massively destroyed my ego, and obviously my pride was completely knocked and bruised. But I learned so many good lessons through that, because I realised I was doing things not because I wanted to do them for me, but I was doing them mainly for other people. This was my first lesson. I was living my life to please and do things for other people. But that is not my life. I'm living my life through other people. So I'm not aligned with myself, with my soul, with my journey, with my ascendant Lord's path. This is not why I was not reincarnated to do that. And also, I really realised I didn't really know myself because of that, because I had just like created this life which was very much to do with other people and doing things for other people and trying to show them the way. But in the process, I had completely missed myself. So this process, because it humbled me, actually made my life a lot smaller. And through that, I had to really face the reality of myself. So I realised I had to get to know myself. Simple things like, I have mentioned this slightly in another video, just to know what I like, what colours I like, my dislikes, my things that I like books that I like to read, what I like, who I am, really learning about myself. And also it just meant that I then created a life for myself which was more real, and I created that on much more solid foundation, because I realised the life that I was leading, I was getting myself, so because I was attracting all the wrong people, it was getting busier and busier. And of course you become like a good mood sort of like good energy person, so people are radiating towards you and taking your energy away. So I had to then cut a few things back, cut out things that no longer served me, people out of my life that really were not right for me, situations, everything. I had to, like a clean slate. What I learned through that was amazing, because I realised that being real is a lot more important. Failure is not failure. Failure is actually learning. It's an experience. It's something that you, through your experiences, you have actually achieved. And I then realised also so many successful people have had absolutely amazing failures. So I just wanted to just like name a few of those people, because you'll be surprised how many people have had this difficult journey. People like, for example, Albert Einstein, Walt Disney, Thomas Edison, Steven Spielberg, J.K. Rowling, Abraham Lincoln, James Dyson. The list goes on and on and on. And failure, even, I think, also somebody who has failed and succeeded, people have got more respect for them anyway, because they know what it feels like to just be the bottom of the pile as well. So I just wanted to and also just to make you real, sort of like give you this message that don't judge yourself. When you're going through a tough time, it's fine because everybody goes through a tough time. But to actually acknowledge that and tell yourself that I've been through that and I've learned from that experience, it's massive. It's a huge thing. And then also just not let those sort of setbacks hold you back, because you can dust yourself off and start again. And every now and then you need to give yourself a cuddle, because at that point when you're really low, small achievements feel massive to you, and acknowledge those small successes. Small victories are very, very important. So I just wanted to just want to make sure I don't leave anything out of these list of things that I've made. But the people that you actually then attract after going through that experience, you'll find that what you attract is much more in alignment with who you are. You attract much nicer people and more real people, and people who are much more aligned with your path as well. So don't think of it as a bad thing. Think of it as a really amazing thing. And for those of you who have planets in Sagittarius, don't worry about it. Not everybody necessarily gets a failure because you've got planets there. But what you can do is go through your life with more awareness about Sagittarius. So you want to know that Sagittarius is the original sign, ninth house. Ninth house is your gurus, your father. So you want to acknowledge them. So if you're getting good advice, it's very important to give good advice and to receive good advice, and to also not be judgmental and think that, because it's quite a judgmental sign, Sagittarius, because it could actually have it's seekers of truth, if you like. Sagittarians are. But what it means is like everybody have their own truth. So you could be a little bit too preachy about your views. So not judging people, respecting other people's views, religion, and outlooks is very important for Sagittarians, because they could just be a little bit too focused. Because the sign is very focused sign, it's very fiery. It could just see that point and not have the view of everybody else, and that can actually make them quite sort of like quite, just like their focus is the only thing that's right. But that's not how it works, because that might work for you, but it doesn't necessarily work for everybody else. So that's what I wanted to say. Extend your love to other people, and don't be judgmental, and particularly don't judge yourself if you've had a failure, because amazing things can happen. Dust yourself off and think tomorrow is another day. And astrology really helped me, so I would advise anybody who can afford it, and your correct time of birth, to actually, if you feel that you are struggling with your path, have a reading, because it's just that sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean have a reading with me. You have to actually feel that connection with your astrologer. I had several readings, and I did connect with one person really deeply, and that's what you want. You want somebody who can actually then guide you and support you through your journey, because nobody does it on their own. We all need help. We're all just human, and we have weaknesses. I wish you well, and I see you on my next video. Thank you.